friend. This personal God is not there far away, removed, and just left us to be on our own. Deists think that God is that way. My friend, if you are a deist, there's no reason to believe this way, because God is coming to fetch His children out of the chaos that is on this planet at this stage. My friend, God is coming with a second coming to come and fetch His children from this chaotic world. This world is in a mess. God won't leave it this way. He will come to make an end, to make all things new, and to come and fetch His children. The Bible says the second coming is personal. It is a person that returns. Acts 1 verse 11 says, which also said, you men of Galilee, why stand you gazing up into heaven? The same Jesus which is taken up from you into heaven shall so come in like manner as you have seen Him go into heaven. This same Jesus. You see, it's a person that is coming. Not angels, but Jesus Himself is coming to fetch us. 1 Thessalonians 4 verse 16 says, for the Lord Himself shall descend from heaven. My friend, the Lord Himself. The Lord Himself, my friends, will come to fetch us. The second coming is personal. Jesus wants us with Him. Just listen and feel the intense longing in God's heart in this verse. Let not your heart be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you to myself, that where I am, there you may be also. My friend, the second coming is not only personal. The second coming brings eternity to reality. And you see, this eternity that meets temporal time is unthinkable, but it's true. And it tells us actually that in this event where eternity and temporal time meet one another, that there can't be any human figuring out of a date. The Bible says nobody knows the date of the end. Matthew 24, 33 to 36 says, so likewise you, when you shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors. Truly I say to you, this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. But of that day and hour knows no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. You see, the Bible says nobody knows the date. Nobody. Yes, this generation that sees all these things won't pass away. So we know it's near, but there's not a date. Not even the angels in heaven. The Bible says there is no time coupled to the second coming. Watch therefore, for you know not what hour your Lord does come. Therefore be you also ready, for in such an hour as you think not, the Son of Man comes. Matthew 24, 22 and 24. My friend, such an hour that you think not, the Son of Man is coming. My friends, Jesus is coming at a time when nobody is really aware. And He's coming at an hour that nobody knows. You see, nobody knows the date of the end. And the second coming will come as a surprise. Luke 21, 34 to 36. And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that day come on you unaware. For as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Watch you therefore, and pray always, that you may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man. You see, the second coming is coming as a surprise. It's coming as a surprise because no one knows. But we must know it's near, even before the door. When we look at the book of Revelation, the last book of the Bible, the apocalypse, full of prophecies about the end time and the second coming, you will see that the book of Revelation and time has quite a large connection. Revelation 1 verse 3 says, Blessed is he that reads, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein. For the time is at hand. Why is Revelation written? Because the time is at hand. At the end of this book it says, And he said to me, Seal not the sayings of this prophecy of this book, for the time is at hand. Yes, my friend, the time is at hand. Revelation is written for a time such as this, because the time is at hand. Now there's a prophecy about time in Revelation 10. Let's read it. And I saw another mighty angel come down from heaven, clothed with a cloud, and a rainbow was on his head, and his face was as it were the sun, and his feet as pillars of fire. And he had in his hand a little book open, and he set his right foot on the sea, and his left foot on the earth, and he cried with a loud voice as when a lion roars. And when he cried, 7 thunders uttered their voices. And when the 7 thunders had uttered their voices, I was about to write. And I heard a voice from heaven saying to me, Seal up those things which the 7 thunders uttered, and write them not. And the angel which I saw stand on the sea and on the earth lifted up his hand to heaven, and saw by him that lives for ever and ever, who created heaven and the things that therein are, and the earth and the things that therein are, and the sea and the things which are therein, that there should be time no longer. Time no longer. My friend, yes, an angel of heaven. And is swearing by the eternal God that there will be time no longer. And this specific prophecy is a prophecy about the end of prophetic time. Later we will see what this means. Many has predicted dates for the second coming. They are all over the place. One such a guy, Harold Camping, currently with a lot of followers. He teaches that the world will end on May 21 of 2011. My friend, this guy, I have an Afrikaans news article that was written in the report earlier this year, that this guy is gathering followers all over the world, even here in South Africa. There's hundreds of people getting all worked up about this date. They're taking this so serious. My friend, you can't believe it. They are proclaiming it all throughout this country. And this guy has a radio. Yes, a radio station called Family Radio Network. As a child, I tuned into this radio by shortwave on my radio there on the farm. And I listened to this guy, Harold Camping. And his whole radio is going about just answering Bible questions people are calling in. And I was amazed at the way he answered the Bible questions, because this guy really knows his Bible. But he has such a lot of heresy and false theories. It's just not true. But you see, now he's been teaching that the world will end on May 21 and 2011. Just hear what he says himself.
I had no idea that this existed, except that we came to these dates, and then I noticed I'd tie our calendar date according to our modern calendar.
So nonchalantly. So blatantly. You know, I just came across this prophecy in the Bible, and here he has this date. And He has thousands of followers. And you know, this guy is very old. He's in his 80s. And a lot of his followers is old people. And they are giving their money and their pension to him to help in this cause of warning the world that the end is 2011. My friend, the end is near, but we don't have dates. Just listen to this clip where somebody's calling in and asking him about the day after May 21, 2011. And just hear the aggressiveness in his voice and how he's talking it away.
With the open forum, and we have a caller on the line. Go ahead with your question.
Teaching that the world will end on May the 21st, 2011, that there's quite a few people, older people and people like that, that have been taking their life savings out and sending it to your radio station. I was wondering if on May the 22nd, do they get a refund?
Well, the fact is, we don't ask anybody
It's up to them
why
if they want to do
excuse me, what they are giving. We're not telling anybody what they are to give, and let each one make their own decisions on those matters. But thank you.
Can I say something else?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to say that you don't want to trick anybody. So on May the 22nd, they should get their money back. It's up to them if they want to give it.
Excuse me. May 22nd will be Judgment, the second day of Judgment Day. Well, we don't know what's going to happen to Family Radio on that first day, or to the banks or anybody else. We have no idea at all. But it's going to be horrible. It's going to be a horror story that we absolutely cannot conceive of. Millions of people will die on that day and every day thereafter. And this kind of conversation of what will we do the next day, that doesn't make, it's nonsense. It's utter nonsense, because it is going to happen. This is what the Bible teaches. We don't, this is not something where, there's a tiny chance it might happen. It is going to happen.
Now, my friend, the biggest movement ever that voiced the second coming of Jesus to be on a specific date was in the 1800s. Yes, it took place in the 1800s. In Spain and South America, 1731 to 1801, Manuel de la Cunza. He studied the prophecies of the Bible. And he came to realize that the end of the world must be somewhere in the 1800s. Then there was in England Edward Irving. He studied the prophecies and said the end must be somewhere around 1830s, 1840s. In Germany there was Joseph Wolf. He also studied the Bible and said that the end is near. In England there was Henry Drummond. Now Henry Drummond, he looked at the prophecies and realized the Bible is specific about when the world will end. And he started to preach that the world will end somewhere in the 1840s. There was Horatius Bonar. Now Horatius Bonar was a person that wrote beautiful hymns, and even he in Scotland declared that the end is soon to take place in the 1840s. In the USA there was William Miller, and he proclaimed that Jesus Christ will come in the 1840s. In Scotland there was Alexander Keith. He proclaimed that Jesus will come in the 1840s. In Scotland there was George Muller, that great hero of faith that had orphans all over the place. He proclaimed that the end is soon. Daniel Wilson, a missionary in India, he proclaimed that the end will take place somewhere in the 1840s. Then there was William Cunningham in Scotland. There was James Frere and Louis Way, Johann Richter and Leonard Kelber, Francois Goosen in Switzerland. And then there was 700 Anglican preachers preaching in England in the 1840s that the end is on our doorsteps. they preached it all over England. There was a mighty revival.